governor's proposal, option A and option B. I'm not sure if I can do that or if even this question makes sense, but when you try or when you look at that, is there a correlation between the economic growth, the jobs, how much each job correlates to the growth or the expenditures, to where there's more of you get more bang for your buck, so to speak, from one of the three with the personal income tax reductions of option A, option B, or the governor's proposal. So I'm looking at, is there a correlation, or can you kind of look through all of that to say you actually get the bigger bang for your buck if you go this route versus that route? Because I think, back to kind of what Senator Elliott was saying, when you have, what is the definition of good tax policy? And it's hard, you don't want to make a decision based on just, well, it's going to cost the state this much money to enact this policy. You don't want to make a decision based on, well, we're going to bring in this amount of jobs. Well, but is there a way to factor in all those kinds of things to say, this actually, even though it might be more expensive for us, we may have to cut additionally places, this is actually the best policy when you look at the aggregate of the information. Is there a way to do that?
You can do a very simple calculation of, based on their models, number of jobs created per $1 tax cut. It's just a ratio. Whether that would be the guiding thing we want to use to adjudicate between the plans. I'm not sure that's the only thing you want to consider, but I don't know if you guys have done that and said with the cost per job, is it roughly the same for each of them? Or?
I haven't done that specific calculation. I imagine they would be fairly similar. I'll add that one thing that may make a difference, and that was alluded to earlier in my presentation that we didn't end up putting in this presentation, would be if there are tax cuts on higher income tax or lower income tax brackets, where accounting for the marginal propensity to consume, where if you're cutting taxes on lower income folks, that increase in their disposable income is going to be, at least in a direct sense, and more of that is going to be spent in the economy. Exactly, at least directly. And of course, with the higher income tax brackets, it may not be that money never enters the economy again. It may just enter in a different way. But there may be differences in how that money is spent back.
Yeah, into behaviors.
Exactly. And so that may end up having effects on the bang for your buck.
Right. Okay. Well, I appreciate that, because I think we as a task force have to understand what our goal is, and making sure that we have a balanced approach. I think all of us want to have that balanced approach, but we have to take into consideration what we've already done. And I think that's a huge thing weighing on me, because I don't know if we've ever really done that before with our tax policy and the tax cuts that we have made previously. We've not done that, in my opinion. So it's cost us a lot of state revenue, but I don't know if we actually got the bang for our buck. Does that make sense? And so now I'm trying to layer all of this on top of all of that and trying to score it, so to speak, for myself to say, well, okay, we did the grocery tax cut, so maybe that was the equity issue that takes care of it for me. Or a better thing would have been the EITC, which I kind of agree with now. But, we've already done this. It's hard to repeal that. How do we layer and try to mitigate some of those decisions we made and steer them in the right direction for clear tax policy that we can all agree with? That's going to grow our economy. Sorry, that's just...
Yeah, and I'll just say, understanding who are going to directly affected and what their response might be. Again, there are these different income tax brackets, but there may be other dimensions where you're affecting one group versus another, and their response is going to be different. And one might be better for growth, one might be not as good in terms of bang for your buck.
Right, so the tax cut that we just enacted for the lower income tax bracket will probably generate more income spending with our sales tax. We probably go up because of that.
That sounds accurate.
Okay.
All right, Representative Dawson, your question.